Hello everyone, this is Tina from Tiaza's Treasures, and today I have a quick unboxing for you and hopefully a few cards. So let's get started. So this box came in maybe a week ago, right before I went on a trip, so I didn't really get a chance to take a look at it. So let's pull this out here, put the box to the side. You get an inspiration sheet. This one looks like it is fall, and it tells you, I suppose, how to make these cards on a few tags. Never really looked at it that close before. So let's see what we have here. I took a quick peek before we left, but I didn't really take a good peek. So we have a small stamp set. Cool. A 6x6 paper pad. This is one of the things I did peek at. I think that was about all I had time to peek at. This is really lovely. Chipboard accents. I like the little scarecrow. Ephemera. No coloring when you have ephemera. Some enamel dots that go beautifully with this kit. And some 12 by 12 pieces of paper. Now usually the 12 by 12 are identical to the paper pads except at a larger scale. So we'll have to see if that bears out. I am not going to subject you to going through each and every sheet of paper, but I also have this lovely sticker sheet. So let's get started. So what I've done here is I have just cut a bunch of different papers. I took 6 different papers from the 6x6 pack, and I mixed and matched stripes and circles, and I also took a pile of ephemera that I thought I might use, and I kind of stacked that all out along with some different pieces of paper you saw there that were kind of like scraps, but I cut into strips, small strips, and banners, and that kind of thing. And I also took 3 different shades of paper from my stash. These 2 are tonic papers, and they're real similar in color. And then I have like a navy blue from Spellbinders I also pulled out. So I use all 3 of those as backgrounds for my pattern paper. So for this first one here, I'm kind of just mixing and matching. I pull out a couple different papers, and as you saw, I kind of went back and forth over what side I wanted to use. And then I kind of decided I liked this the little pattern paper with, it's got like little flowers on it. And I have this stripe of plaid paper and a circle, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to put in the circle. And I flip it over, and I think the wood grain looks a little bit better with this chipboard Happy Fall Y'all piece. And so I'm just going to glue all this down. I hope your fall's going good. Fall, it's been kind of hot here still for October. I mean, we've still been in the 80s. It's been kind of crazy. It's finally was in maybe 70 today, and I'm in the Midwest here in Illinois. So it's kind of weird weather. We finally closed the pool up day before yesterday, got that done. And we've just been still trying to get other stuff done. I've still got a garden full of vegetables I got to get harvested. I'm having trouble walking, so my husband's trying to do it. I blew out my knee on vacation. Blew it out worse than it already was, but you know, that's neither here nor there. It's just one of those things. Means I'm having trouble getting around and doing things. And my poor husband, man, he's had to do everything. He's had to clean the house. He needs to do the yard work, and I mean, pretty much all I've been able to do is like what you're watching here. And even that, I've been having a little bit of issues because if I sit too long, my knee spazzes up. So anyhow, I popped up the back of my panel here because I figured I had the chipboard and I kind of thought, well, why not? Let's pop it up and put it on the card base. And I think this looks pretty darn good. And I'm going to even put a few things on the inside. I put Life is Beautiful on the inside, and then I take some pumpkin stickers from my sticker sheet and I put those on the inside of the card. And you see me struggling with it a bit, but I get it. I get it in the end here. So here is card number 1. Now for card number 2, I've got this blue gingham piece of pattern paper and this kind of busy strip that I'm going to be putting across. At least that was the thought in the beginning as I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with this card. Like I said, I didn't have any of these cards really planned out. I just cut up a bunch of pattern paper. The pattern paper was all cut to like 3 and what is it, 3 3/4 by 5, and I wanted to have plenty of room for the cardstock border around. And I cut a bunch of different, like I said, circles, and I just used 6 different pieces of pattern paper and cut everything out from those 6 pieces of paper, figuring everything mixes and matches so well on this Echo Park kit. It's just beautiful. Now, as you can see, as I turned that over, I thought that looked better. It wasn't quite so busy, and I had that barn out. But I decided at the last minute that the barn and the scarecrow just didn't work for me. I just didn't like the way the proportions were so far off. And so even though I love that scarecrow, I decide that I'm going to go with the little pumpkins in the wagon. Now the wagon says Fall Fun, and it's got like 2 different shades of pumpkins and a white pumpkin. And I also used a chipboard with 3 pumpkins that I've kind of got down there. And now I'm trying to go through my ephemera and figure out what I want to use for sentiment. And I decide on that Happy Fall Y'all that you see right there. I'm still checking out other pieces, but I'm going to go with the piece that I have. And so now we're just going to start gluing everything down. So, you know, this is different watching me do this and trying to do a voiceover. I'm getting ahead of myself. Usually I describe what I'm doing step by step a little bit, but that can be a little bit tedious, especially since I'm pretty much just gluing and putting things down, and you could see me doing that easily. So anyhow, I've got this blue strip here, and that is just a piece of the cardstock that I had a little bit extra of, and I decided that wagon that I put down needed to be grounded, and I liked the way that that stripe looked, and so I used that to ground it. And the chipboard is kind of papped up, so I do end up papping up the Happy Fall Y'all as well. So everything has got kind of at the same level. The beautiful thing about this Echo Park kit is that everything just coordinates so beautifully. I mean, it just, all these cards that I've thrown together could have been done in so many different ways. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I just had to pause my voiceover because out of nowhere, my Alexa app just started answering a question that I didn't ask it. I have no idea what she was talking about. She was talking about like latitudes and longitudes and weather, and it was really the strangest thing. Kind of makes you think that these these assistants we put in our home are always listening to us. I try just to keep mine in my little craft room here because I like to play some music while I'm crafting, and it's very convenient, like to ask questions like when I'm trying to figure out different quantities for baking and stuff, and how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon and yada yada yada. It's very convenient. Anyhow, for the inside of this card here, I have got a little die cut ephemera piece that says together. And then I take a couple stickers. Well, actually, it's just one sticker with a couple sunflowers, and I stick that in the corner there. And this card is now done. So for card number 3, I have got this lovely wood grain, but I don't think I'm going to use the wood grain. I think I flip it over. Actually, no, I'm a liar. I do use the wood grain for this card. And I have got this circle die, and I'm looking at, and this other stripe of pattern paper. And I'm just trying to fit these on here and trying to see what looks best. And now you can see I'm deciding. I like the little orange strip here, and I do like this little strip that I've got with it's got little orange and brown and yellow and red leaves on it. They're kind of tiny, so it's hard to see. And I'm looking at my stickers, trying to figure out what I want to use for a sentiment, because I don't really want to use the ephemera for whatever reason. I want to try something else, and I think maybe this truck will look cute up there, but I decide I have no blue on the card, so I go for this piece of, well, it's not ephemera, it's a sticker that says autumn leaves and pumpkins please. And I also figure, well, it says pumpkins, so I pull off some pumpkins and I put that on my paper. And now I'm just kind of gonna get all my adhesive down and get this going. I do like these pumpkins that are on the back of this wood grain, but I did not end up using them just because they just didn't end up working with any of the things that I tried. I kind of just liked some of the other things I tried better. And so for this card, I've got this one strip down, and then I've got the thicker strip that I put down at the bottom here, the one with the cute little pumpkins on it. Now for this card, you're going to see that I end up a little frustrated because I start putting down enamel dots, and I don't like the way they look, but because when I tried to move one of the enamel dots, it pulled up the paper, I was kind of stuck with them. Because, I could have just kept the one enamel dot in the paper, like right there, that dot. I pull it off, and it pulls up the paper, and I'm like, darn it, now I'm stuck with this dot right there where I don't like it. See? Right there. So I have to put the dot back, and then I've got to try to figure out how I'm going to arrange the dots when I'm pretty much not liking where I'm putting them. But, I'm kind of like, well, I don't want to keep pulling them up, and this one luckily didn't stick down. And I'm trying to move it all over to see where it looks good without getting it to stick down. And I don't like where any of these dots really are, but I can't really pull them up without ruining the paper. This one I do manage to get off. I was very careful. I even was wondering if I took a heat gun, if that would like let the adhesive kind of lift up, but I was like, that would have been a lot of trouble. So I had committed to the enamel dots, and I was just going to have to live with it. I made my bed, and that was that. It was like I was stuck with these enamel dots. And this is exactly why you may have noticed on some of my other videos that I am kind of in a rut where I put my enamel. And this is why, because I was really going for something different and it didn't work out in my opinion. So, but it's all good. It's just a card and it's just paper. And even though I may not like exactly where those enamel dots were, hey, the card itself still looked pretty good, I thought, in the end when all was said and done, right? So this one on the inside says Happy Fall with a cute little pumpkin. And that's it for this card. So where are we at? Are we on card number 4 already? I think we are. So for this card here, I have got this gingham striped pattern paper along with this strip with leaves, and I've got this plaid circle that I put another little circle with the leaves. And I try out a little different ones, but I come back to the leaves. Even though it's like leaves on the stripe and leaves on the circle, I like those darn leaves. I think it looks pretty good, and I end up kind of keeping them that way. And I'm like, well, I've got these banners that say fall that I want to use on one of the cards, and for whatever reason, this is the card I choose to use those the fall banners on. And now I just got to kind of space them out there and get them on there. And I don't want that circle not to have anything in it, but I don't want to put a sentiment in it, so I put a little sticker with a pumpkin and a gourd. What do you even do with a gourd? Are they just like decorative? I mean, technically, I guess a pumpkin's a gourd and you eat that, but like this other little gourd that you see in the grocery stores that's next to this pumpkin, does anybody eat those? I know you can eat like acorn squash, but I don't know. Anybody knows, let me know. I'm curious if anybody's ever ate the gourd that's like next to the pumpkin on my card. Well, not the one that's on my card, one that's like the one on my card. Oh, come on. I guess I could be getting a little snarky here, but sarcasm is my love language, so it just is what it is. And it's getting late when I'm doing this voiceover, so I might listen to this voiceover tomorrow and be like, I got to do this all over again. More than likely, I'm going to be too lazy to want to do it over again, and you're just going to hear it the way it came out. But we'll see. So I've got my F and my L spaced on either side, so all I have to do is put the A and the other L right there, so everything's got really good spacing. And I'm not going to say the word, even though I really like that word. Okay, I'll say the word. I've got everything kerned to my liking. See, it's getting late. What can I say? Getting this stuff all glued down. I should have had this video out actually like a week ago, but I've just been procrastinating and procrastinating, and finally getting around to it today. So I glued that card base down on a blue sheet of or a blue piece of cardstock. I glued my fall card on there, and after gluing it on this blue cardstock, I decided that instead of putting it on a white card base, I was going to put it on another piece of cardstock and then glue that to the white card base. And it's kind of got like a double frame going, which really looks good for this card. I don't do that a whole lot with the two double frames like that, but I think I used the blue because the F in fall had blue, and it just kind of pulled it in. And then I just didn't think having a white card base would really go that well, because it's almost like the lighter colors on this are a little bit more creamy than they are white. So now I've taken my Spectrum Noir glimmer pen, and I am just coloring up the word fall. And for this card, I am not using any enamel dots. I got frustrated with them on the last card, and I think it might be the last card I put the dots on for today, because it just, yeah, really frustrated me to no end. But I do love the way this particular card turned out. It's my favorite. It says Fall Blessings on the inside with a couple pumpkins. And now for, this is card number 4 now. I thought I might be on card number 5, or am I? No. Wait a second. I'm not even sure what card I'm on. I'm so confused. This might be 6. Let me see. Yep, this is card 6. So for this card, I end up just using this piece of ephemera that happens to be a tag. And I've pulled some gold string or twine out of my stash here, and I've got it doubled up. So I'm going to end up making a double bow out of it. And I get it all tied in a cute little bow here. As you can see, I kind of skipped ahead so you didn't have to see me fiddling with it too much, because I did a lot of fiddling with it. I'm still kind of fiddling with it. See, I decided I really needed to cut that, because it was making it kind of hard to see where my ends were. Now I've got it cut in my cute little bow. Oh, I'm getting so goofy. So yes, I have my bow, and I cut down my ends a little bit. You can't really see them too well right now, but they're there, trust me. And I am going to put this tag at an angle, and as I'm getting ready to do that, I see this tag has little pop-outs on the bottom. Made me really excited, because that was one more spot to like kind of show through the back to the pattern paper underneath, and it kind of just gave it a little extra oomph. Now here I'm trying to decide exactly which color I want to put my pattern paper on, what I want it framed up with. And I end up going back to the one sheet I already had cut out. It's kind of really similar in color to the pattern paper, but I decide I'm going to use it anyway. And so I have my little sheet I'm gluing down here, getting that all nice and centered. And I'm going to put my tag at an angle, get that nice and glued down. And I'm going to take a couple pieces of, couple glue dots, and just glue down the ends of my twine there using the glue dots. So, you know, it's less likely to come untied that way. I'm going to leave the bow itself free. A lot of times I do glue that down as well, but I don't see a need to right now. The bow's tiny enough that I think it'll be fine with just these 2 glue dots. Now, normally when I line up like my different pattern papers and stuff and card bases and put them on, try to get them nice and centered on my card bases, the white card bases, I'll use like a score buddy or something, so I can put the sheets right in the corner. But I figured I only had, well, I did have 3 cards that went all the way to the edge. I thought I'd live dangerously and just try to get it to work without using my score buddy today, so you guys didn't have to watch me pull that out for almost every card. And as it was, because I didn't use it, I had to edit the film, where I had to pull off the front of the card because I got it crooked. So you may see the score buddy again coming up really soon in the future. But I did not subject you to it tonight. So I have, for my little ephemera piece on the inside, it says, "Hello, pumpkin," which is so cute. And I put a little bitty flower in the corner there. So just a little sticker. And that's it for card number 6. I do like the way this turned out. I do take my little, see, God, what happened to this card? I'm like missing a card. Ah, I see. That was card 5. Man, I am so not with it tonight. This has definitely got to be card number 6 now. If this is not card number 6, I am going to have to redo this entire voiceover. So, for this card here, I have this kind of busy pattern paper with some scarecrows and little banners and bicycles. And I like the way it looked when I took my wood grain stripe and my little gingham stripe and I put them on there. And you can see the Simply Blessed and Grateful word die. Oh, no, it's not a word die. It's a piece of ephemera. And so I decide that that's the way my card's going to look, and I'm going to put it on a piece of blue cardstock. And so I kind of get my little pattern paper all centered on this blue cardstock here. And my little piece of wood grain. I do like wood grain card or pattern paper because it's really easy to make masculine cards with wood grained paper. Now, mind you, I don't know that any of these cards are masculine. They're not masculine. I mean, this you could use. I don't see why not. It's not feminine. So, I am gluing down my sentiment here. And I'm looking at my sheet. You know what I have to end up doing? I end up bringing back those darn enamel dots. Now, I thought it came with some blue ones, but it doesn't, which makes sense because there's not a whole lot of blue in the kit. And I end up putting a few white ones on there. Now, you can't see them real well, but at this point I thought that might be a good thing in case I messed them up again. And I just ended up putting 3 in the corner there. I was originally thinking of putting 2 of them down further, and I didn't like the way they looked, but I kind of felt we needed something in that upper corner, so I kept the 3 little enamel dots up there. And now you can see, as I'm kind of struggling to get my my card lined up on the card base, and it's still, I've got a little bit of a white strip there. Don't know why. It's centered, but I obviously can't cut my card bases worth the darn. So I am kind of cleaning up my area. I really should have used like a baby wipe to get those fingerprints off. And these are my 6 cards. If you didn't mind listening to me babble too much, give this video a thumbs up or subscribe would make me really happy. You know, I love each and every one of my subscribers and all my viewers for that matter. And let me know which card you like. I like the way they all turned out. I think they all look pretty good. Except for the enamel dots in that 3rd card there. We could do without those. But anyhow, bye-bye for now, everyone. Have a great night.